Okay, so just going to go through some different ways in which we could revise for GCSE RE. So one of the things, okay, we're just going to go through first is a way in which we can revise the knowledge that we already know. We can create something from it so that it sticks in our mind. And then we're just going to look through some of the resources that we gave you that you could then use to help you revise, and just to go through them so you understand exactly how you can use them. So the first one, if we look through this PowerPoint, okay, this is one way in which you can take the information that you know, you can add to that and make sure that you are revising that information so that it actually sticks in your long-term memory. So when it's revising it, it's important to reproduce what you know in a written format. Yes, you could sit there and you could read everything, but it's not necessarily going to stay in your mind the same way as if you reproduce it. So rewriting will help you remember the key parts. However, you may need to summarise this, okay? So if you are revising from your revision book, or you're revising from your actual workbook that we've done in class, you may need to summarise this because there's so much information you won't be able to get it onto one page. And doing that allows you to maybe shorten it down so that you do remember that, okay, in the long term. So the shorter bits would help you remember it, okay? So to begin, create a mind map of all the knowledge you have on one topic. Okay, so if we're talking about Islamic belief, we put Islamic beliefs in the middle. We would then put any key points from Islamic beliefs we can think of. So we might put the Quran, we might put Sunni, we might put Shia Muslims, and so on. And then from that, you would then put any information that links to each one of them little subheadings. So if we've got the Quran, we might then put something about Muhammad and the fact that Muhammad had the Quran revealed to him. You may then link the Quran to the fact that the Islamic beliefs are based on the information in the Quran, the core beliefs are wrote down in the Quran. And then you could then take another colour and you could start adding quotes around them as well. So you've got quotes in there as well, make sure different colours so you know they stand out. You might want to do this by starting off by writing Islamic beliefs and writing everything that you know without using your book or without using a textbook, just to do it off the top of your head. And then after you've done that, you might use another colour, or you can use the same colour, you look through your books and add more information to that, because you will then be able to see what bits you maybe can't remember, okay? So what I want you then to do is use reduction, okay? So what you could then do is you could reduce the amount of information that you have put on that page, okay? So you could go through, you could highlight the key bits. So in this, for example, cosmetic testing is often seen as causing unnecessary suffering to animals for the sake of luxuries. It is disrespectful to God's creation. So the highlighted bits are the bits that are the most useful. So you'd go through, you'd read through your information again, you're revisiting it, and because you're having to think about how you would simplify this even further, you are having to think about that information. So again, it's helping it stick in your memory, but you're then highlighting the key points so that they then stand out, okay? So it's reducing the amount of text then. You could then, okay, you could add some images as well. So images help us remember things because they represent an idea, and you've also got to start thinking about what image you could put onto that. So you are thinking about the idea again. And also with an image, you might remember an image on your poster more than you do the words. So when you go to an exam, you might think, I remember drawing that image, right? Why did I draw that image? And then link it to the information. So it helps you link things, it helps you remember things. The image doesn't need to be an exact representation of the thing, but something that represents it to you. So what would help you remember it, okay? So if you look at this one here, we've added some different pictures to this one. Okay, and then step 4, an optional stage, is reduce all the information into images alone. So maybe you could then just create another mind map, you could just put it into images alone. Okay, that might help you. And another revision technique on top of it. Okay, so just before we finish, if we just look at this book that you've all been given. So you've all been given this book that's on the screen now. So the GCSE RE, 1 task a day, keeps the stress of the workbook. And each day you have had a question that would help you revise. So we had 1 every day in January, 1 every day in March, 1 every day in February, so that the wrong way around. And they go over the topics that we have studied, okay? So they're highlighted into different topics. You might think, actually, it's what, February, March, maybe when you watch this, and you might think, well, I've not done the January ones. Well, it doesn't really matter when you've done them. You can use this to help you revise. So you could go back, maybe you do one a day, okay? Maybe you actually do a few, okay, together. Maybe you sit down and do some revision and you pick some on the topic that you are doing at that time. And it's not a case of, so why are there Sunni and Shia Muslims? How do they differ? You could do it as bullet points. If you wanted to write it out as 4 marker, you could. If you want to write a 5 marker, you could, or you could just write out as bullet points. You could even do a mind map, and you could put each one of these questions of a different bit on your mind map, and then you could bullet point the information underneath it. So it helps you revise again, but also if you're sticking that on your wall, sticking somewhere, then you can see that information. Okay, and it helps you answer some key questions like your 4 and 5 markers and ones. Okay, so you've got that one thing that we've given to you all. You've also been given a 12 marker booklet as well. So you've all been given this one as well. Okay, so the GCSE 12 mark question booklet, it is on email. So if you don't know where it is on the email. It came from Miss Clayton, to have a look and see if you and look through some of the 12 markers. So on here, what we've got is we've got different topics, and when we've got different topics, we've got some different 12 markers for each one. So as you can see here, we've got Islam, again, we've got some key statements that could be a 12 marker. So we've got lots of different ones there. So what you can do is you can take one, you can write out a 12 marker, you can practice with them. Again, you can time yourself, and that would be good practice. Again, you don't necessarily have to write a 12 marker for every single one. If you do, that's going to be better practice, better timing, better way to practice structure. However, you could also use them in a way you could write it down, and you could write a for and against point underneath. You could come up with some quotes, you could link it. Okay, you may even put that in the middle of a page, and you could draw some lines off it, and you could link as many quotes as you could. You could come up with as many ideas that would link to this statement as possible. Okay, we've got the same themes. So themes, we've got religion and life. Okay, we've got religion, peace and conflict, we've got religion, crime and punishment ones there. Okay, and then underneath here, if you're doing 12 mark, you think, right, I need a little bit of help on how to structure this. We have some information here to help you. So how to structure it, what you might include, and here we have a little bit of an example as well that you could use. Okay, and the more you do, the more you can get. And some stamps please as well. So you can hand them in, we can mark them. Okay, so this is your own responsibility. So you've got 12 markers, you've got the other booklet I've just showed you, and that's your own responsibility. If you do want us to mark them, you can hand them to your teacher as well.